Welcome everybody to Talladega Superspeedway. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Truck Series here on iRacing. It is the last race before the chase finishes, the season-ending race next week at Homestead, Miami. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. And Devin Buccino holds on to a lead over Kyle Mays by 12 points. Isaiah Gill 17 points back. Then a little further back, we see Michael Provolt, Logan Hangerman, Joe Wright, Dave Wright, Brian Merle Jr. Still mathematically in it. Matthew Scott, Bobby Mays mathematically out of it. So with one race to go, it's Devin Buccino's championship to lose. As we take a look at the last few minutes here of practice, we got about 10 seconds left in practice. And we see Kyle Willems at the top of the board, Devin Buccino in second, Bobby Mays, Michael Provolt, Michael Lawrence. But practice doesn't mean anything here in these super speedway races. It's all about being there at the end and being up front. So we'll see how these drivers tackle this tricky 2.66 mile super speedway. One thing you'll notice is what we're looking at right now, that start-finish line, where it's located. It's located just past the exit of the tri-oval. So as we watch the Rebels trucks this weekend and the ARCA series, the Rebels Cup series, we saw all the Rebels series here at Talladega, and we saw that start-finish line come into play in every single race. And we'll have to see if there's a last corner pass through the tri-oval here again in the SCSRA Truck Series. Again, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, we appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. As we get ready for some super speedway racing, right now we see Michael Provolt out on track getting ready to do his qualifying attempt. We've got a couple super speedway masters in the field as well. We're talking about, of course, the 82 of Joe Wright. If anybody's watching that used to be part of the F&D series, the name is familiar as Joe ran a lot of the F&D races, won a lot of the F&D races, and knows how to get around this track. You see him right up against the wall. That's because these trucks use what's called a restrictor plate. That's where the engine is restricted of airflow, so the fuel can't mix as well. It cuts the horsepower, slows the trucks down, and takes a little while for these trucks to get up to speed. So that's why Joe's riding up there against the wall. Now he's going to cut down to the bottom to take the shortest way around the track. And that's what you want to do here, is try to make this track as short as possible. Another driver to watch out for tonight is Joe's brother Dave. Dave, another very good super speedway racer, making his way down the backstretch right now. A couple other drivers I expect to be up front tonight is the 37 of Derek Chaput, another very good restrictor plate racer, and Kyle Mays. Kyle Mays knows how to get it done here. Will Witt, Eddie Morris. So there's quite a few drivers out here tonight who I imagine could be up at the front battling it out. I know I spoke to Devin Buccino before the race, and his strategy was just to be there at the end. He wants to just kind of hang back and stay out of trouble. He said you probably won't see him up front until the end of the race, as Joe Wright currently jumps up to the top of the boards with a 56.22. We'll see if he's able to do anything better here on his second lap. Brian Nudi currently the second fastest out there. And it looks like Nudi's got a little more speed down this backstretch than Joe does, so I think Brian might actually be able to leapfrog Joe on this lap. Michael Provolt currently in the third position. Now Provolt moves up to the point. Devin Buccino up to the front. Joe comes across this tri-oval and towards the start-finish line. And Joe is going to move up into the fourth position. So not quite as good of a qualifying as Joe was hoping, as Devin Bacino currently at the top of the charts. See if he's able to improve here on his second lap. And he's just going to come down pit road. See Will Witt out on track. As Will comes down through the tri-oval into the start-finish line. And Will's going to jump up into the 8th position on his first lap. See what he's able to do here on his second lap. See Will trying to keep his truck pinned down on that yellow line. So he comes down to the tri-oval. He's going to keep it above that yellow line. And right through there, you'll see that's a tricky spot tonight. There's a little bump there that can really upset these trucks in the draft as they're running nose to tail. And Will Witt's going to keep himself up in the 9th position. We see Eddie Morris out on track. So as they come through the tri-oval, especially 2 and possibly 3 wide tonight, watch that tri-oval. That low lane has a little bump down there. It's really easy to get your truck upset and out of shape through there. We watch Eddie Morris as he's running up high, trying to get that truck wound up the most he can. Across the line. And Eddie Morris is going to jump up into the 13th position on his first lap. Let's see if he's able to improve on that here on his second lap. Cassie Williams says, "Let's go, Colin." We got the bot squad in the house. We haven't seen them in quite a while. Colin Williams currently up on the pole. So what Eddie's able to do here on his second lap, carrying a bit of speed. One of the faster trucks I've seen through turns 3 and 4 here. Let's see, he's able to keep that momentum here through the tri-oval. Eddie's going to hook that yellow line as he comes to the start-finish line. And Eddie Morris will jump up into the pole. So how about that? Eddie Morris with a 56.08 to get himself on pole tonight. Another one to watch here is the 55 of Kyle Mays. Kyle doing a little different here. He's down on the bottom early. Kyle's going to make his way down here to the start-finish line. His first lap is going to move him up into the 4th position. Let's see what he's able to do here on his second lap. We saw Eddie carrying about 171 through turns 3 and 4. We'll take a look at the speeds here as Kyle makes his way down the backstretch and got off of turn 2 pretty well. Lets that thing right out to the wall, trying to get as much momentum. That's what I like to do personally, because here, through turns 3 and 4, you can kind of let the truck roll down the hill here. 172 through turns 3 and 4, down to 171. So this might be a fast lap as well. Kyle might be trying to challenge Eddie for the pole here as Kyle comes off of turn number 4 down to the tri-oval. and to the stripe, and Kyle Mays jumps up into second with a 56.11. So a blazing lap here for Kyle Mays as well, but not fast enough to get onto the pole as Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence makes his way to the stripe. That's going to be his first lap, going to move up into the 16th position. Let's see what he's able to do here on his second lap. Love the look of this truck, that old Atari colors on that thing. And down through turns 3 and 4. Trying to get that truck up to speed off the corner. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough speed here as he comes across the line. He's going to move up into the 10th position as that's going to finish qualifying. And we get ready to take a look at your starting grid. And on pole tonight is the 8 machine of Eddie Morris, with Kyle Mays starting to his outside in position number 2. Row 2 will find the 17 of Colin Willems and the 68, your points leader, Devin Buccino. Starting in 3rd is the 7 of Logan Hagerman, with Michael Provost to his outside in 6th. Then we'll find a couple Wrights. Dave Wright in 7th and Joe Wright rolling off in the 8th position. Row 5 will find Brian Merle Jr. and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Then Todd Mays and Derek Chaput round out row number 6. Row 7 will be Brian Nudie and Sylvan Seguin, with Will Witt, Blake Hensley, Daniel Michelle, and Brandon White rounding out the rest of the field here at Talladega Superspeedway. Again, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. As always, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know that you're watching in the chat. We've got the chat open. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. And of course, don't forget about our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers of all your favorite sayings here, like them truck cars from Intensity Broadcasting, or find your favorite league apparel as well. Original Rebels, SCSRA, Thunderstruck, Mayhem Modifieds, and Extreme Forces. I do know that they SCSRA will have their own t-shirt coming up pretty soon, so I know that's in the works as we speak. Also, the league champion from every league here on Intensity Broadcasting will receive a free piece of swag. So here we go. Devin Buccino says camera angles are fire. Wait till you see what I got in store in a little bit, Buccino. We're going to have some great camera angles for you as well. Of course, as always, we're always going to have our roof cam as we ride along here with Logan Hagerman. Logan Hagerman with the Cody Moore picture up there tonight. Of course, we can always look off the back bumper of these trucks as well. See these drivers getting their tires up the temp here as we get ready to do battle at Talladega Superspeedway. And yeah, we even get a little old school here. We even got the old gyro cam here. You can really see the banking here at Talladega Superspeedway. That's how much these trucks lean into the corner here. So Try to give you as many good angles of this race as we can tonight. But here we go. Trucks are rolling off of turn number 4. Pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Again, the start-finish line is way past the tri-oval here. Want to get excitement. They wanted to move the start-finish line past the tri-oval. They did that originally to sell more seats at that end of the track. And it worked, as it's always been exciting there. As the drivers approach the starting zone. Eddie Morris leads him down. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. And a great jump for Kyle Mays up on the high side in that 55. Getting a good push here from Devin Bacino as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. And you'll see that tonight, all night long, these drivers giving big pushes to each other. Because of how fast these trucks are going to go and how big of a hole they punch through the air. You're going to need friends. You're going to need some help to get yourself up to the front. As Eddie Morris has a bumper full of Colin Willems as they make their way through turns 3 and 4 for the first time. Logan Hagerman down on that low side trying to help Kyle Williams get Eddie Morris up to the front as they make their way down to the tri-oval for the first time. They're side by side. Joe Wright already the first truck to jump up into that third lane as they come across the line. We're going to be a little 3-wide racing, now back to 2. And Eddie Morris is going to lead the first lap here tonight. And typically the more trucks that are in line, the faster that line's going to go. So we're going to watch what we like to call the energy trade from line to line all night long. Which lane has the movement forward? And right now, it looks like lanes are pretty even. We see Brian Merle Jr. now up in that third lane. Here comes his Neon Racing teammate, Derek Chaput, up into that third lane as well. You see Joe Wright and Dave Wright kind of migrate up to that high side as well. And we see that looked like Todd Mays jumping into the middle. We got one car way down on the apron. That's the 47 of Cheeseburger falling back to the pack. Wants to get out of there as we got 3-wide racing in the middle of the pack. Eddie Morris all by himself up front. Here's Devin Bacino up to that high side. Bacino said that he didn't want to stay up front. He wanted to kind of ride around in the back. But right now, he's got a big push from the 82 of Joe Wright as that middle lane loses all the energy. It's that sucker hole that we like to call, as that high lane's got the momentum and they're able to move themselves forward. Now Devin Bacino's going to cut down in front. And Kyle Mays is going to fall way back. Mays falling all the way back into the 10th position as he was just leading the front row a few moments ago. Now he's way back in 10th. As Devin Bacino's now challenging Eddie Morris for the lead as they come through the tri-oval. Side by side, use a little side draft there and cross the line this time. Eddie Morris is going to be out by just a nose as we complete lap number 4 of 57. I wouldn't be surprised to see some green flag pit stops here tonight as well. As Devin Bacino riding along in that middle lane. And what you don't see from the TV is just how much these trucks move around. We're right along here with Kyle Mays, and you can see the movement, the side-to-side movement these trucks get. A little bit of that is the air coming off the trucks. It gets the trucks unsettled. It moves them around a little bit. Also, if you give a bump, you can upset the trucks here as well. So Kyle Mays is doing a good job not bumping Dave Wright there, Oh, almost gets into the back of Wright. Now the two Wright brothers are going to jump up into that third lane. Oh, some contact. Devin Bacino. They're wrecking. Big wreck here. The whole half the field wiped out. We see Derek Chaput sneaking through there, but Devin Bacino, who just want to ride around tonight to try to hold on to his point lead. We see him tore up down in the grass. Now, these drivers do have one reset tonight. So that's going to come into play here as well as we take a look at our Wreckage Rewind tonight. And it looks like it starts here with a little bit of a bump. So we're going to go back just a little bit further, see if we can see exactly what happened here. And it looked like, almost looked like they were trying to make it 4 wide for a second. We take a look here from the blimp. Yeah, we were actually 4 wide for a moment with that green and black truck up on the high side. Dave Wright gets into the Buccino just a little bit, sends him up the track into Joe Wright. And then it's all on from there. Kyle Mays comes down. Here's Sylvan Seguin Jr. get involved. Brian Nudie sneaks through there. Dave Wright collected up in this as well. A little further back, you see Cheeseburger, who was fell to the back to lay back, sneaking through there as well. So yeah, we were riding along with Logan Hagerman when that happened. See if we can get another view of this, maybe from the cockpit here of Dave Wright. Yeah, it's tough to say. Maybe Joe came down a little bit there into Buccino and got started. And Dave Wright gets hooked, makes hard contact with the wall. Gets up and over on his side. As the entire field is going to come down pit road. Don't think anybody's going to take tires. I think everybody's going to top off that fuel tank, though. Make this a 1-lap race, or 1 pit race from the rest of the way out. Only 1 truck staying out on track, and that is the 26 of David Michelle. As we see Colin Willems sneak his way out. So that was Colin Willems in that green truck that was way up on that high side. He's going to beat Eddie Morris off of pit road. But Daniel Michelle, the only truck to stay out. Actually looks like Joe Wright. Joe Wright had to pit, so he was at the tail end of the lead lap. So he is going to stay right in front. I'm not sure how Joe got where he's at the moment. With the magic of iRacing, let's take a quick peek at that truck. Yeah, the truck is clean, so he doesn't have any damage to it. So I imagine he's going to be okay here moving forward. Paley Cross says, got to stay high when you're 4 wide, got to tighten up. That's for sure. Is see exactly what happens when you misjudge just a little bit here at Talladega. And you see in the top right corner of the screen, Sim Racer Hub. Don't forget to visit them. Sim Racer Hub is your one-stop shop for all stats, standings, schedules for all iRacing leagues. So most leagues upload to Sim Racer Hub, so you can check that out at simracerhub.com, where you can find the complete point standings for the SCSRA, along with almost every league that runs here on Intensity, whether it's the Doghouse Racing League, Original Rebels, Extreme Forces. So everybody kind of uploads there. So you can check that out at simracerhub.com. So here we go. The lights are off on the pace car. Joe Wright is going to get that wave around, get himself back on the lead lap. That's going to put Colin Willems in the lead. He's going to choose the outside with Eddie Morris down on the bottom. We saw Eddie not fire off very well on the initial start. Let's see if he's able to fire off a little bit better. He's got some help behind him. He's got the 7 of Logan Hagerman. They are teammates. So that might help out Eddie Morris on this restart a little bit more than before. Colin Williams going to have fellow Canadian Derek Chaput right behind him. I'm sorry, that's Blake Hensley. I take that back. I thought that was a 37. That is the 31 right behind him. So Blake Hensley right behind. We've seen Blake run well in these super speedways, so we'll have to see if Blake's able to move himself forward and keep up there as well. Right now, everybody has pretty clean trucks. We able to get those reset. Now we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them. Kyle Mays just leaving pit road. So Kyle Mays and Devin Buccino both a couple laps down. Buccino still sitting on pit road, I believe. He may just be... yeah, it looks like he might be taking repairs as opposed to his reset. Holding on to that for later on in the race. Right now, he is 2 laps down. So your points leader in a bit of trouble here tonight. Oh, no, he is going to take that reset. That truck pops back into place, and he is down and away. But still going to be 2 laps down as the leaders are just making their way past pit road. Colin Willems again on that outside, fires off. We're back to green flag racing. Eddie Morris and Logan Hagerman kind of left behind there. And, man, Blake and Willems getting out to a big lead, but that's not what you want here at Super Speedway racing, as that entire pack now is going to be able to get in line and catch up and get right around them. One driver who's in an awfully big hole right now is Devin Buccino. You can see the leaders coming down the backstretch and approaching turn number 3 as they're side by side for the lead. Devin Buccino just coming through the tri-oval now and running by himself. He's only going to be able to do about 160, 170 miles an hour. Where these guys in the pack, we can see Colin Willems already up to 183 up front. 184, 185, so about a 20 to 25 mile an hour difference between the pack and the single driver. So Devin Buccino is in danger of going another lap down here as the field makes their way through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dave Wright, and I'm not sure who that's with him. I think that's Daniel Michel. It is making their way. Now Dave's going to jump up into that 3rd lane with a great push from Michel. And look at this. Dave Wright's going to move all the way from the back of this field. Now he's going to be challenging for the lead as Eddie Morris in that middle lane has some help from Logan Hagerman and Todd Mays. Derek Chaput up in that 3rd lane as well, trying to catch up to Michel. And Dave Wright trying to make that top lane go. But right now, looks like it's all about bottom 2 lanes, as here comes that high lane now. As I say that, Daniel Michel, what a huge push on that high side, getting Dave Wright even with Eddie Morris and Colin Willems as they make their way through the turns 2 and onto the backstretch. And here comes Chaput, and it looks like Joe Wright up there as well. So it looks like Dave and Michel are going to have a little more help here as they come down the backstretch. And we are 3 by 3 by 3 as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. See a couple drivers kind of hanging back. We see Joe Wright, Kyle Mays just kind of hanging back there in case something was to happen. They want to put themselves in a position to be there at the end. I see Brandon White now in that black and green machine jumping up through the 3rd lane. Try to catch up to Chaput and help that 3rd lane get some energy to propel them forward. Right now it's pretty even as they make their way down the backstretch. That top lane starting to fall off just a little bit. As now Eddie Morris and Logan Hagerman kind of squeeze up there, but not able to make it work. That's going to give the energy back up to that 3rd lane as they try to pull that back lane on that middle lane backwards with a little bit of a side draft. Now Dave Wright's going to get a nose out in front. Is he going to be able to stay there and lead this lap as they make their way to the start-finish line? And Dave Wright's going to take over the lead. See Devin Bacino down on the apron doing the courteous thing. Oh, Dave Wright gets turned in the front of the field. Across the track, Colin Willems, Blake Hensley, David Chaput. We see Will Witt involved as well. Kyle Mays, Joe Wright barely sneak through. Looks like they may have got a little piece of it, but Dave Wright up in the front of the field and gets turned around. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. Take a look at this one from above. We see Dave Wright up on that high lane. He's going to try to come all the way down the track. And he just was not clear. He was clear. And then Eddie Morris just gets in. You saw the flames come out the tailpipe of the 8 as he was trying to check up for Dave. I don't think he anticipated Dave ripping down across his nose like that. We see Brian Nudie, Blake Hensley, Colin Willems involved. Oh, Nudie goes hard into the outside wall right in front of Will Witt. David Chaput getting a little piece of it. I'm sorry, Derek Chaput getting a little piece of it as well. And then as they all come to a rest, we see Kyle Mays and Joe Wright trying to sneak through here. And looks like Joe just spun it around and Kyle was able to get it slowed down, so no damage to either one of those drivers. So a tough break for your leader as Eddie Morris is going to take over the lead here, and we'll see if anybody else decides to come back down pit road here and top off yet again. It looks like the entire field is going to come back down pit road. So I'm having a Sylvain Seguin. I think he was just slowing down to let the field by. So Eddie Morris down and away. He'll be the first truck off of pit road. Michelle just barely losing the race off of pit road. Logan Hagerman's going to come out in third. So as Eddie Morris catches up to the field, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. This is the SCSRA Truck Series. We're under caution number 2 for a spin that involved Dave Wright as well as multiple other vehicles as Dave was trying to take the lead and just misjudged being clear. Came across the nose of Eddie Morris and got caught up. Took a couple other trucks out with him. Will Witt, Brian Nudie, Derek Chaput was in that as well. So a tough break for some of those drivers. They're going to be able to get them fixed up, though, and get back out as Eddie Morris continues to be your leader. We see Devin Bacino did not pit that time. I think Bacino's going to stay out here. Yep, Bacino's going to stay out here, get one of his laps back. And that'll put him one lap down to the field. Again, Devin Bacino is your points leader. Let's take a look and remind you of what the points looked like coming in here tonight. See Devin Bacino with a 12-point lead over Kyle Mays. Kyle Mays also caught up in an early one, so he's got to play it a little safe here. Isaiah Gill back in third. Isaiah did not make the race tonight, so Isaiah will lose quite a few positions here. Michael Provolt, fourth in points, currently sitting in the 10th position. Logan Hagerman back in 5th. Actually, it's a two-way tie for 5th between Logan Hagerman and Joe Wright. And Hagerman currently sitting in 2nd. Joe Wright currently sitting in 10th as he just hit pit road. A couple trucks hit pit road to top up here, so... And Bacino now not able to take a wave by, so he is going to stay 2 laps down. He's having to go to the end of the line here. Not really sure what happened to put him back. Now he's going to get around the pace car here to be 1 lap down. And maybe not. Looks like the field's going to come back by Devin Bacino again. So Bacino stopping, letting the field by. He will be 2 laps down. We go back green flag racing. The field is making their way through turns 3 and 4. Getting ready to go back green flag racing. Field getting ready to make their way on to pit road. I'm sorry, the pace car making its way on the pit road. Logan Hagerman leading them down to the restart zone. Eddie Morris on the outside. Todd Mays, Michael Cheeseburger, Lawrence back in the 2nd row. Colin Willems, Will Witt, after being involved in that one, back in the 3rd row. Green flag is back in the air. Eddie Morris with the big jump on Logan Hagerman. And Eddie's going to tuck back down in front of Logan to reclaim the lead. And big wiggle out of the 47 of Cheeseburger Lawrence. Looks like he was trying to get down. Just wasn't clear. Now he's going to get freight trained up on that high side. As we see Will Witt and Colin Willems doing some drafting in that middle lane, trying to move themselves back up to the lead. Here comes Brandon White. Also right there trying to get that top row moving here. Colin working a little side draft on the 7 of Logan Hagerman as they make their way off turn number 4 down the short chute to the tri-oval. And the side draft does work in these trucks now. What a side draft is when you get right down on the quarter panel of the driver next to you, you can actually dump all the air coming off your truck onto their spoiler. And it slows that truck down and drags them backwards. So basically you get your right front tire right up to their left, your left front tire down to their right rear wheel. It'll start dumping the air on. And as you get alongside, you want to pull away so that that effect doesn't come back to you. It allows you to move forward. Right now we got side-by-side racing. Ooh, Logan Hagerman washes up the track just a little bit, almost into the side of Colin Willems, but they keep it straight as they make their way down to the tri-oval to complete lap number 18. This front group is starting to get a little racy now as we see a 3rd lane forming up. That's Joe Wright and Daniel Michel, and look at the speed that they have up on that 3rd lane as Colin Willems has gotten around Eddie Morris to take over the lead, and now those two up on that high side trying to make their way back up to the front. We'll see if Joe's able to tuck down in front of Will Witt. Oh, Daniel Michel getting loose there on that high side. And Now they're going to tuck down into the middle lane. Hope Will Witt's going to give them a little push here as the field makes their way through the travel yet again. And then we've got another group of trucks way back here. This is almost 4 seconds off the pack. Sylvan Seguin, Brian Nudie, Kyle Mays, Dave Wright going around Sylvan Seguin right here. And these drivers were involved in that last one. They're out of resets. They're just trying to be safe here and stay clean to the end of the race. Joe Wright, though, now side by side with Colin Willems for the lead. As Will Witts joined that group. Here comes Todd Mays jumping up to the high side. Oh, Dale Michelle gets loose into the corner, able to hold on to it, but at 185 miles an hour, getting that sideways is not a fun feeling. Now Will Witt and Todd Mays looking to that middle lane as Joe Wright leads them up on the high side. Now Joe's going to do the same thing that Dave did earlier, go from the top to the bottom. He's going to be clear, though. He's going to take over the lead here at Talladega Superspeedway to move that Intensity Broadcasting truck up to the point. We see Todd Mays and Will Witt now drafting together in that middle lane. They've got some help coming in the form of Brandon White along with Cheeseburger Lawrence. Now that middle lane's starting to get a little bit of energy. And Devin Bacino, you see him just riding in the back, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to keep up with this group. Try to get one of these laps back in case there's an incident. He's able to sneak on through. Wow, Brandon White and Daniel Michelle jump up to that high side. But not close enough to make anything happen as they're going to lose a little bit of momentum. And you see that big gap between Michael Lawrence and Eddie. That's going to cause that high lane. You see the run that high lane's getting. You see that run that Michael Provolt's getting there. But because he's not close up enough to Eddie Morris, that's going to give all the energy to the high side. And Colin Willems is going to pull back into the lead as the field works their way off of turn number 4. And Colin Willems is going to take over the lead here at Talladega. Getting a big shove from Joe Wright. Logan Hagerman moving down to the bottom in front of Devin Bacino. And now Joe jumping up to that high side. So Joe and Eddie, a little synchronized move there to move those two up to the high side. See Michael Provolt just not able to push on the back bumper of Colin Willems like we've seen some of the other drivers here doing some pushing. Joe and Eddie blocked that run that middle lane was having as Todd Mays was coming with ahead of Steve, and we see the 8 and the 82 drop down and block their momentum as they make their way through the corner down to the short chute. Eddie's pushing as hard as he can, trying to get that 82 moving forward. When I say they're pushing, they are pushing. You can see Joe Wright getting pushed to the front from Eddie Morris. As you take a look at the front of that 8 Octagon racing truck. See Michael Provost get down out of the way. He wants to drop out of this mess. Now we've got those 3 Intensity Racing teammates lined up on the bottom. The 82 of Joe Wright, the 8 of Eddie Morris, the 7 of Logan Hagerman, all lined up now, trying to keep themselves up front as Colin Willems continues to try to fight up on that high side. See that run that Colin has with the push from Todd Mays. And those two trucks are going to be able to slide right down in front of Joe Wright. Oh, Joe has to lift to keep from running into the back of Todd. Now these drivers are approaching some lap traffic. The 74 of Brian Merle Jr., the 37 of Derek Chaput, the teammates of Devin Buccino here, as they're going to run right down on the bottom as they are way off the pace. That's going to allow the field to get around. That's also going to separate the field a bit and going to give a big advantage to the Intensity Boys. As here comes Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Logan Hagerman with a huge push down the backstretch. And it looks like Cheeseburger is going to come and follow along as well, as those three are going to clear Colin Willows. And Colin now starting to get a little bit of push. You see Eddie and Joe dive down to the bottom. They leave Logan up on the high side. Logan's got a push now for Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. And Cheesy trying to give everything he can to Logan to keep that top lane moving. And Brandon White jumps out of line. He's going to let Daniel Michelle right on by. And a couple trucks on the pit road. Devin Buccino, Brian Merle Jr., Derek Chaput, all on pit road. So it looks like the Neon Boys coming down pit road all together. A lot of damage to those trucks as well. I wonder if they have resets that they're going to use here. Yep, they're going to use their resets. Let's see if Buccino already used his reset. As the field makes their way down the backstretch. Gives you a great sense of speed as these trucks make their way down across the start-finish line. Todd Mays all by himself up on that high lane. Now he's got some help from Daniel Michelle as that middle lane's starting to stretch even with the bottom lane. You've got four trucks in the middle, four trucks on the bottom, but the bottom lane broken up a little bit. That's going to allow that middle lane to have the energy here as they come off of turn number 4. And I believe Colin Williams is going to get a big run off of turn number 4. Williams is going to get clear of Joe Wright. And he's going to pull down in front of the 82. Here comes Mays and Michelle up on that third lane. They work a little side draft off of Logan Hagerman. That top lane starting to make some moves now. Joe Wright doing a great job, giving a big push to Colin Williams to keep that 17 truck out front. Eddie Morris falls off just a little bit on that low line. That's going to let that middle and high line regain their energy. As we work lap number 30 of 57, we have a three-way battle for the lead. Now we're 2x2. Or 3x3, excuse me, off of turn number 2. And you see Brandon White back there doesn't really know which lane to go with. Same thing with Cheeseburger Lawrence, Michael Provolt. They're just kind of hanging back out there. Now Eddie Morris getting to the back bumper of Joe Wright. That's going to push that bottom lane forward. That third car doesn't actually want to push, but by just being off that back bumper there, it's pushing the air just enough to get that bottom lane moving. Now we see that middle lane break up as Will Witt dives down in front of Brandon White. Now Logan Hagerman going to move himself down to the bottom and leave Will Witt all by himself. And everybody's starting to get a little single file here. That tells me that they're just trying to ride it out and race for a little bit. Or you might see some green flag pit stops coming up very soon. Everybody was last on pit road on lap number 14 or 15. And I believe these trucks can go about 24 to 26 laps on fuel. As we see Todd Mays and Daniel Michel up on that high side. Here comes Logan Hagerman to help that high side as well. And the field is starting to catch some more lap traffic. We see, well, the logo's in the way there. Let me turn that off. You see the Neon Boys just in the middle of the backstretch, and the field is coming to catch them. Then you see that second group just coming down the middle of the backstretch now. That's Kyle Mays, Dave Wright, Sylvan Segoin. As Daniel Michel gets sucker hold in the middle there, as Todd Mays and Logan Hagerman work around the high side. Colin Williams continues to lead. Joe Wright giving him a big push. Eddie Morris right behind. Michael Provolt moving himself up into the 4th position. So Provy having a good run here. Just kind of biding his time. Running in line and getting himself in position for a good finish here. So we have just 25 laps to go. And it makes me wonder when green flag pit stops are going to take place. While we've got a little break in the action, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night as the SCSRA Xfinity Series takes on Michigan for the Michigan 250. It is the season finale tomorrow night. Points are tight. Coming to the last race of the season, Cody Moore, currently your points leader, just over Cameron Austin. So check it out tomorrow night for the season finale of the SCSRA Xfinity Series. Atlee Atman Weiss will have the call on that one. And here they come. Pit stops are taking place. We see Michael Provolt, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Those two trucks coming down pit road, and these two guys are going to be in a bit of trouble as two trucks are going to be much slower than the rest of the field. It looks like Provolt might be out of fuel. Saw the little wiggle there as Joe Wright has now taken over the lead from Colin Williams. Let's take a look at the pass here as they're coming to the start-finish line. And yeah, because those two trucks behind pit, it left nobody to help Colin Williams, so those two trucks were able to motor on by. So we're back to live pictures now, and the Colin Williams and the rest of the field now coming down pit road. Oh, Daniel Michel almost gets into the back of Colin Williams. So Colin Williams, Daniel Michel, Will Witt, Todd Mays, and Brandon White all coming to their pit stop here. That's going to leave Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, and Logan Hagerman out there by themselves. And to keep from losing too much time, I'm sure these drivers are going to come down pit road this time for their final service. Yep, here they come down on the pit road. And Logan Hagerman stays out. So I think Hagerman just wants to stay out to lead a lap. He might be able to catch back up with these two next time by. So we see where everybody is on the track right now. These two coming down on the pit road. Eddie Morris has that first pit stall. Don't think they'll be taking tires. They'll probably be taking fuel only. Joe's down and away. Eddie Morris down and away. Try not to spin the tires coming off pit road with those hot tires. Here comes Colin Willems, Daniel Michelle, and Todd Mays as they make their way off of pit road. Or past the start-finish line. And we see where everybody's coming off of pit road now, where they're going to blend in. And you see Eddie Morris and Joe Wright just sitting ducks right now, as Logan Hagerman's now making his way down on the pit road all by himself. Dave Wright and Kyle Mays just leaving pit road. But it looks like Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, and Will Witt. So we do have 3 trucks in this group right here. Logan Hagerman's in trouble. He's going to be all by himself unless he can hang on to the back bumper of... see, Michael Provolt's going to be coming by in just a moment. Hagerman might be okay here as he's got these 2 lines of trucks behind him. They are 2x2 down the backstretch. Hagerman might be able to blend in and keep pace with these boys. There you have it. Hagerman's going to be able to tuck into this group. Now, if only this group could get single file. If this group right here was able to get single file, they'd be able to run down the cars in front of them that are 7 seconds ahead. They'd be able to run much faster times than running side by side as Colin Willems. And look at that, Joe Wright already caught up to this second group here. And we've got a race on our hands now. Will Witt's going to jump up to the high side all by himself. I don't know how that's going to work out for him here. He's able to get alongside Joe, but he's not able to go any further by himself. He's going to tuck down in front of Eddie Morris. Joe Wright's going to hang down on the low side. Eddie's going to tuck back down in behind Joe, and we're going to have 18 laps to go as they cross the line this time. We ran along with Joe here. Oh, Daniel Michelle getting out of shape. So we see Joe doing work here. It's Will Witt up on that high side. All by himself. Not the place you want to be at a super speedway. And just as I mentioned, this second group back here, led by Devin Bacino. Now that they've gotten into single file, they're actually running a second faster than the group in front of them. So this group is 6 seconds off, but running a second faster, almost a second faster. They should catch this back group with about 8 laps to go. As Will Witt still out there on the high side all by himself trying to drag that line back. So as they make their way, yeah, there that group is. And you see just how much they are starting to gain on this group in front. You see Derek Chaput just kind of tucking his nose out there, trying to get a little air on the nose. Being stuck up on the back bumper like that, it can really heat up that truck. Well, you see a really big push here from Chaput through the tri-oval. And they've cut this, they are cutting into this lead. So we'll take a look at Logan Hagerman's time here. And you can see just how much they are gaining on that group in front. That interval continues to drop down. Now it's under 4 seconds. And they're catching about 3/4 of a second a lap right now. Silva Seguin going to stay up and out of the way. And mark my words, if Logan Hagerman can get this group up to the front, I put Logan Hagerman in the position to win this race with 14 laps to go. Even though he's sitting there almost 3 seconds back, that pack is substantially faster. They are almost 2 seconds a lap faster as we see Colin Willems move up to the high side. That's going to allow Todd Mays to get out in front. Todd must have been getting pretty hot there. And now Colin's going to try to tuck back in line in front of Will Witt. Will Witt and Colin Willems in the Discord together, communicating with each other, helping each other out. They're there. That group came out of nowhere, and they are there. Look at the speed difference from the Neon Boys and Logan Hagerman up on that high side. They caught them a whole lot faster than we thought they were going to. And now Devin Bacino getting a lap back and dragging this team around. And that's going to allow Logan Hagerman to get out in front as well. And Logan Hagerman's going to take over the lead of this race. Some great teamwork out of the Neon Boys. Able to drag Logan Hagerman, who I thought was in trouble, pitting by himself, getting shuffled way back out of the draft. And now they're pulling away from the lead, what was the lead group. But now the Neon Boys coming down on the pit road. But they were able to help Logan Hagerman get himself out to the front. Now, unfortunately, Hagerman has a big lead, and he's going to have to tuck out of line. He's going to have the entire field going by him. No. Todd Mays is going to jump up to the high side. Joe Wright's going to stay down low. Todd's going to try to help Hagerman here. This field's getting all broken up. I'm not really sure what's going on. Joe Wright, now the sitting duck, all by himself on the load line. Now Eddie Morris going down to help him out. Colin Willems down to the bottom as well. So is Hagerman going to try to duck down in front of Colin Willems? He is. So move Hagerman up into the third position. And intensities 1, 2, 3 yet again. As they come across the start-finish line, just 11 laps to go here at Talladega. Can Joe Wright hold him off? Can Logan Hagerman get himself back up to the lead? And now Joe Wright jumps up to the high side. Eddie Morris is going to take over the lead. Now we're going to come across the line. We're going to have just 10 laps to go here at Talladega. Logan Hagerman just kind of staying out of trouble right on the back bumper of his teammate Eddie Morse. Logan trying to get maximum points here. Trying to get some advantage here for next week at Homestead, Miami. Coming into the race, he was 29 points behind Buccino. Buccino having a not so great run, sitting back in the 14th position. This will allow Logan Hagerman to make up a ton of points, along with Joe Wright. Colin Willems not running for points, running for pride, as he's now sitting back in the 3rd position, gotten around Joe Wright. Take a couple of cautions to get Devin Buccino back into the mix here. But with Buccino having a bad night, Kyle Mays having a bad night, and Isaiah Gill not being here, that's going to allow Michael Provo, Joe Wright, Logan Hagerman, all to have great finishes here tonight and gain a ton of points. This is going to make next week at Miami that much more important. 8 laps to go here at Talladega. Eddie Morris continues to lead. Right now, the field staying single file. Oh, Eddie Morris jumps up to the high side. It's going to allow Logan Hagerman right on by. Eddie Morris not running for points. He knows what's on the line. Trying to get his teammate up to the lead here. He's going to tuck in behind Joe. And we'll have just 7 laps to go. Now, Todd Mays sitting back in the 5th position is not running for points. But he wants to win this race just as much as these other boys. Oh, Joe Wright jumping up to the high side. Eddie Morris, Logan Hagerman all going along as well. The whole field moves up to the high side, leaving Colin Williams alone on the bottom. So move these intensity boys up 1, 2, 3. And move Todd Mays up in the 4th. And again, Todd, I know Uncle Todd wants to get the win here tonight. He's got Colin Williams behind and Will Witt. Again, Colin and Will were running in a different league that ended, so now they're in here just having some fun and racing for the win. They're going to fall way back off Eddie Morris here. And we saw the run earlier that Logan Hagerman and the Neon Boys were able to get. It makes me wonder if Todd is laying back, trying to get a similar run here. We see Eddie Morris falling back a little bit, trying to block that run if it comes. But here we go. We're going to have just 5 laps to go to settle it here at Talladega. Does Joe Wright feel content pushing Hagerman to the win? Eddie Morris just going to sit back there and block for him. Todd Mays now to the back bumper of Eddie Morris. Is Todd going to jump up the high side here? Or is he going to try to push Eddie and try to force Eddie to get out of line to try to get around these boys. Hagerman and Joe leaving that bottom lane open, and kind of surprised that nobody went down there to try to take advantage of it. Down to the tri-oval, 4 laps to go when they come across the line. Joe giving a big push to Hagerman as they make their way to the stripe. Eddie Morris kind of sitting back there playing blocker. They will be coming up on a lap truck. As it does look like Brian Merle Jr. has lost the pack. He's running around all by himself, so right now the field is doing 185. Junior is doing just 170 by himself. See Junior up ahead there as the field makes their way to the dry oval. Just 3 laps to go. Uncle Todd thought about making the move up to the high side, but he stays tucked in line. Todd Mays looking for anybody to give him a hand to get himself up to the front. Colin Willems, Will Witt right behind. See if the field migrates up to the top. Try to get a sniff of giraffe from Brian Merle Jr. here as they come down the backstretch. Jr. going to stay up on the high side. And you'll see the difference between the field and the single car as they make their way right on by Brian Merle Jr. So here we go. We're coming down to the finale as we got 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Todd Mays hanging back. We see Willems and Will Witt hanging back off of Mays. Daniel Michelle back there as well. Sylvain Seguin and now Brian Merle Jr. hanging on the back of this field. Will any of them going to be a factor here? We see Joe giving a huge push to Hagerman down the backstretch. Junior jumping out of line by himself. Getting lapped down. I'm not sure what... Oh, he's racing... I thought maybe he's racing Sylvain there, but he is not. As they make their way off of turn number 4. And as they come through the tri-oval, the white flag will be in the air. Just 1 more lap to go here at Talladega. Brian Newty rolling off of pit road. The field now really bunched back together. Brian Merle Jr. and Daniel Michelle up on the high side. Junior is a lap down, but he's pulling Michelle up to the front. Logan Hagerman's got a mirror full of Joe Wright. Here's Eddie Morris throwing a bit of a block. Here comes Todd Mays now down on the bottom. Mays to the low side getting around Eddie Morris. Morris going to have to tuck down in line, which he will. That's going to allow... Ooh, Junior gets loose. Junior gets tagged. That's going to break the momentum of the back. Here comes Logan Hagerman. Joe Wright's going to pull out to the outside. Todd Mays is going to come as well. They're going to be 3 wide as they come through the tri-oval. Oh, Logan Hagerman just turned. He's able to hold on to it as they come across the line. It's going to be Eddie Morris getting the win. Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, Todd Mays, your top 3. Let's take a look at that pass again as we see Eddie Morris way back in 4th as Logan Hagerman moves up high to try to block Joe's momentum here. Here comes Todd Mays coming down on the low side. They make contact. Eddie Morris is going to sneak all the way up to the high side. Logan Hagerman's able to hold on to it. He's going to fall back into the 6th position. And then Eddie Morris with that big run on the high side. He is going to win it. by .008. See Eddie Morris celebrating here on the front stretch in front of the fans. Looks like these two intensity drivers are going to do a little team burnout here. So Eddie Morris, your winner. Let's take a look at the results. Eddie Morris is your winner tonight over Joe Wright and Todd Mays. Daniel Michelle comes home third. Will Witt fourth. Logan Hagerman back in. Daniel Michelle fourth. Will Witt fifth. Logan Hagerman back in sixth. Kyle Williams comes home seventh. Michael Provolt, Dave Wright, and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence round out your top 10. Sylvan Seguin comes in 11th with Devin Bacino. Kyle Mays, Derek Chaput, and Brian Merle Jr. back in 15th. Brian Nudie comes home 16th. Brandon White 17th. And Blake Hensley, the last car, in 18th. As we get ready to talk to our top three, just waiting for Uncle Todd to jump up into the waiting room. Again, while we're waiting, don't forget about the Intensity web store at intensitybroadcasting.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, different sayings. You got the pucker moment, PD powered, light the tires and kick the light the fire, kick the tires and light the fires. That's what it is. Them truck cars, mouse pads, as well as some merchandise from your favorite teams as leagues as well, such as the SCSRA. So check that out, intensitybroadcasting.com. Let's see if we have Todd Mays sitting in the waiting room. We do. And Uncle Todd, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Josh, how are you?
Man, I'm doing well. How about yourself? That was a wild finish there at the end.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get it, but I got pushed down there below the yellow, and Logan got into me a little bit, and it cost me my momentum.
So I saw Logan jump up to that middle lane trying to block Joe's momentum and open up that bottom lane for you. Were you expecting him to kind of pop up like that, or was it just kind of give you an eyes wide open moment as you saw that hole open up?
I just was going to go with wherever I could, and that opened, and I had a good run, and he just got into me enough to let my momentum down and where Eddie and Joe could get by. But I had a good run right there.
Yeah, for sure. In the first part of the race, we saw two cautions come out in the first 15 laps or so, and then it went green flag the rest of the way. Were you banking on more cautions there, or did you think it was just going to go green the rest of the way after those two got out of the way?
Well, once those cautions got out of the way, the pit window is where everything got messed up as far as any more cautions. Well, I mean, we were running 160, 65 mile an hour at Talladega in a 7-8 car draft. I mean, you know, everybody was just saving fuel. So the only caution was going to happen at the white flag.
Yeah, for sure. And it did seem like everybody got single file and was trying to save a little bit of fuel there. But hey, you come home P3. That's a great finish here tonight. Who you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
I want to thank you guys. Y'all do a wonderful job every week. I want to thank Nudie for doing an excellent league, and I thank my wife and family for letting me do this.
For sure, man. Well, again, congrats, Uncle Todd, on the third place finish, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks, Josh.
So that was your third place finisher, Todd Mays. Let's bring in our second place finisher, Intensity Zone, Joe Wright. Joe, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hell yeah, I got you, buddy.
Man, what a wild finish there at the end. You tried to make the move to get around Logan, and he tried to throw the block and allowed Uncle Todd to get down underneath. And overall, Eddie just kind of snuck on through there at the end. Walk us through that last lap there.
Yeah, the last lap, I mean, Logan and me and Eddie set the go button about 5 laps left, and I knew some of the guys behind us were a lap short on fuel, so I knew a bunch of them would run out, and it'd be probably a race of 4 or 5 cars there at the end. And pushing Logan, and I just thought Logan would stay low, and I guess he didn't stay low enough because Todd was able. I don't know if he was clear there or got below the yellow or what happened, but he got down below Logan, and then I think they made contact or maybe some net code or something there, and then I didn't even see Eddie coming till I pulled Todd back with a little side draft. I knew I had Todd in line. I looked right, and I was like, "Dang, Eddie just beat me," and. Yeah, so Eddie, congratulations to him, man. What a race. Him and I worked together really well early on and even late in that stage there. So it was good.
Yeah, sometimes it's that one that sneaks in there. Now I know pit stops were kind of out of there too because you and Eddie pit together, and Logan stayed out an extra lap. But he was able, and then he fell way back, but he was able to pull himself back up there. Was the goal for everybody to kind of pit together, or did Logan on his own strategy there?
Logan was on his own strategy, which he usually does it about a lap after us anyway, usually. But I wouldn't have made it another lap. I had run up front too much there in that early stint. So actually, what saved me probably was pitting with 1 to go on the last caution, getting down on pit road, coming to 1 to go, and topping off, being able to get 1 extra lap over those guys that were racing with us. So that was the saving grace, I think.
So what you're saying is if there was a green-white checker, you wouldn't have made it to the end.
Not a chance, no. Mm-mm.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. It's going to be a good points day for you, considering Devin Bacino and Kyle Mays both having some issues, and Isaiah Gill not racing tonight. You and Logan having a pretty good points day. It should tighten things up a little bit towards the front. So mathematically, you are still in it.
Yeah, I feel bad for Logan not being able to get to the line there. He should have been in the top 3 for sure.
But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give?
Yeah, heck yeah, Ted City Broadcast, and as always, got it on the truck today. I think I might need to start running that some more. The last couple weeks have been pretty good with it on the truck. I don't know if that's a luck thing or what, but us racers are a little bit superstitious. So shout out to them. Shout out to you for doing this every week, and we'll see you on track again tomorrow. And I'm excited for that. And then also shout out to Octagon Capping, Eddie Morris Customs, Dave Wright, my bro. Even though you had a terrible race as usual, shout out.
I love how you said that with a straight face too. That was great. But yeah, that's a good looking intensity truck you had out there. It looked like a good painter painted that one up. So you'll have to run that one more often. It brings you good luck. But
Right.
again, congrats on the second place finish. And mathematically, like I said, you're still in the championship. So we'll have to see how you do at Homestead next week.
No doubt. Thanks, man.
So that's your second place finisher, Joe Wright. Let's bring in your winner tonight, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Man, I'm doing great. How about yourself? Look at that last lap pass, last corner pass to get the win here at Talladega. You know, they put the start-finish line past the tri-oval for a reason, and you used exactly what that reason was for. So congrats on the win. Talk us through that last lap. I mean, you're sitting there running 4th coming off of turn number 4, and you end up with the W. How'd you get that done?
Man, I was in fuel conservation mode there for a while. Like somebody said, man, it was crazy going 7 cars doing 160 something miles an hour, and just everybody trying to save gas. That caution didn't come. If it would have came a lap or two, after it did, it would have probably helped out a little better. But either way, man, it was crazy. Me and Joe was trying to celebrate, and my car shut off. So I was like, well, that's about all the gas I have for today. And man, it was crazy. That last lap, though, I figured when Todd got underneath me, I figured it was over for me. I was just trying to get back up to 3rd, and I kind of seen everything happen in front of me in slow motion between him and Logan, and I was just trying to make a plan. If they were to get together and wipe out, I was going to try to navigate through that and finish the best I could. And just so happened to slingshot me around Joe, and man, I'm in VR and I'm over here looking left, and I was like, did I get him? Joe's like, did you get me? I was like, I don't know. And then it refreshed, and I was like, holy wow. But yeah, man, that was insane.
Yeah, you were one of the few trucks tonight that didn't have to take a reset. You were able to get through the race pretty clean. So congratulations on that too. I believe that's correct. You didn't have to reset tonight, did you?
Oh, no resets.
So there you go. So you had a great job staying out of the mix tonight. And the first two cautions came kind of early. I know you said that kind of threw a monkey wrench in the strategy there. But were you expecting another big one there towards the end of the race?
Man, at these plate track races, you always expect one within the last 10 laps. And shockingly, man, just I think everybody in fuel conservation mode just kind of prevented that. And everybody was just trying to make it to the end. But, everybody had that lap number in their head as far as when they were going to open it up and go for it. And I thought we had pretty good strategy there, me, Joe, and Logan. And I figured that gap I was keeping behind Joe, I was saving a little bit of gas, and I figured if I could make something happen, it'd be between us three at the line right there. And unfortunately for Logan, it didn't work out that way. But I don't know. I've not went back and looked at it yet, so I can't really have my input either way. So, but yeah, it sucks for him. He was having a really good race, and man, I wish it could have been us three, but congratulations to Todd. And got to give a shout out to Joe, man. We worked together the whole race, and man, we was cooking it.
For sure. And even though Logan fell back to sixth, still had a good points day, considering Devin Bacino, Kyle Mays both finished way back in the back, and Isaiah Gill not showing up tonight. So it's going to be tight coming into Homestead next week. How do you like Homestead next week?
I like Homestead, man, and I tell you what, man, these leagues, when people make the playoffs and they don't show up, it kind of hurts my heart, especially when you miss the playoffs by 4 points and you still show up and you do this sort of thing, and I mean it is what it is. I mean, who knows why they missed or whatnot, but it just kind of hurts a little bit, But yeah, Homestead, I'm looking forward to it. It's a pretty good track for me. Got my first original Rebels win in Homestead and in the old Cup car, so I like it pretty well.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing what you do next week. And before you let you go, anyone you want to shout out, anyone you want to thank tonight?
Oh yeah, man! Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Shout out to Octagon Camping. I don't know if anybody shout out to Grandma Hagerman, but shout out to her. I don't. She's probably saying some choice words if she's watching tonight. My teammates, Logan, Joe, Dave, Octagon Camping, man, just a great group of guys, and we'll try to see what we can do for them next week at Homestead.
For sure. And again, congratulations. And I look forward to talking to you next week at Homestead.
Yes, sir.
So there you have it, your winner tonight, Eddie Morris, getting the win here at Talladega in an exciting one coming down to the end. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night as the SCSRA Xfinity Series has their season finale at Michigan. You're not going to want to miss that. Then Friday night, Thursday and Friday this week, there are no races. Saturday, though, the Original Rebels Send It Cup Series returns along with the truck doubleheader on Sunday night. Again, thanks for joining us tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and or Twitch. Don't forget to drop a like, follow, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live racing, as we do have live racing 7 nights a week. Don't forget to check out our store at intensitybroadcasting.com. Check us out on Twitter at intensitybroad1. And for myself and everybody part of the Intensity Broadcasting team, we want to thank you one last time. And as our boy Atlee, Atman Weiss would say, over